If we were down the street at the Waterloo Elks Club and you were talking to us there, we weren't union people, but we were the members there, cross-section of the community, how would you talk about the Employee Free Choice Act?
Well, let me say to you here, again, again, as a strong advocate of the Employee Free Choice Act and other measures here that I mentioned, the respect law that I wrote and so forth, dealing with these issues here. If elected and slurring in on January 20th, 2009, I will find out and exercise whatever executive rights I have on January 20th to reverse 6 years of the worst administration when it comes to working people in my lifetime here. So I may have to go out and pass some laws, but if I don't have to pass a law, and I can do it by executive order, if I can by executive order impose an Employee Free Choice Act, then I'm going to do it as President of the United States. I won't wait to fight through Congress to get it done. I believe the power of the executive branch, this administration, has not been shy. When it's come to depriving organized labor unions of their rights, I won't be shy about restoring as President of the United States. So I have that authority to do it, I will do it as President of the United States. I'm that force there. And then obviously, look, if you're getting the legislation, the point is here to bringing people together and pushing. And I'd like to see people in Congress, if someone's going to, if Larry Cohen is a senator who wants to filibuster, then I'm going to make you stand up all night and talk. I'm not just going to let you get off the floor and not engage in what you have a right to do, but I'm going to make you do it, Larry. You want to filibuster, stand up and talk all night. And the next guy wants to stand up all night, let him do that or her do that. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay for doing so. And let the American people know why you're depriving them of a fundamental right in this country. If it's a right to organize, if it's a right to form a union, then the federal government ought to stand behind it and make sure your rights get exercised. And that's what we ought to be fighting for. The number of union households have declined, and the standard of living for middle-income families have also declined. And as President of the United States, the first order of business is to see to it that the right to organize, the right to collectively bargain, is going to be strongly supported by the President of the United States. You have my commitment. I will stand and fight every single day to see to it that working men and women have the right to organize, to collectively bargain, and to fight for their rights. That's one way to get this back on track.
Every place I go, and I would do it there, every place I go, I talk about the importance of the Employee Free Choice Act. And not only, they don't know, I don't use that name. What I talk about is the importance of organized labor and the importance of growing the organized labor movement. I remind people that it's the union movement that built the middle class in this country. And that if we want to restore and strengthen the middle class, we have to grow the organized labor movement. It is critical not just to union members, and certainly not just to union presidents. It is critical to the long-term economic security of America. Because if you don't want to live in a country just made up of a few rich people and everybody else, organized labor is absolutely critical. And if we're going to grow the organized labor movement, we're going to have to actually change the law to make it fair. And the way I describe it to them is, if you could join the Republican or Democratic Party by signing your name to a card, any worker in America should be able to join a union by doing exactly the same thing. That's democracy in the workplace. That's what we believe in. There is a difference between wanting the support of union members, coming before you when you're running for president, and whether you truly believe that the union movement is crucial to the future of America. I truly believe the union movement is crucial to the future of America.
Let's imagine that you're down the street now, not with a union audience, but at the Waterloo Elks Club. How would you talk about the Employee Free Choice Act? How would you talk about bargaining and organizing rights?
You know, folks, where I come from, the way to measure whether someone's with you is whether they stayed with you when things were really bad. I come from the state of DuPont. I come from the corporate state of America. I challenge you to ask any one of your counterparts in Delaware, in any labor organization, whether or not Joe Biden had said the same exact thing at the Chamber of Commerce meeting that Joe Biden says at a labor meeting. Joe Biden would say the same thing and does say the same thing, for example, about card check to the Chamber of Commerce that I recently spoke to, because I believe it's in their interest. They don't get it yet. They don't get it yet. Their growth depends upon your help. Folks, look, it's not just a bunch of political malarkey to talk about the future of the middle class resting upon all of you. This isn't just about stopping the slide in labor. I've been doing this for a long time, man. And we've been like Sisyphus, man. We've been rolling that rock up the hill and it keeps rolling back on top of us. I'm sick of it. But we got one thing going for us now, folks. If we have a president, it doesn't just have to be me. We need a president who is willing to utter the word union, to say the word union.
I'm for the Employee Free Choice Act. I say that to business groups. I say it to the Elks Club. I say it on national television. And I'll say it to anybody. I believe that there are many other votes that we can get if we can demonstrate that economic growth, that being part of a union and having card check and getting rid of the right to work states, you know, there are 10 right now that have a national movement. But you guys have to join the president in leading. But I will lead. I know how to get it done. I know I can bring people together. But it's going to take these Republicans. I got most of them.
You got a lot of them, yeah. That was good.
The Employee Free Choice Act will end a lot of the harassment and intimidation that has gone on, that has been one of the contributing factors to the decline in unionization. Anybody who tries to organize knows how many delays that can be built in to an election process. If we can get to the Employee Free Choice Act, I believe you will see employers start to be more receptive because they know that they're going to have to deal with you. I think that this is one of the most important economic issues that we will be able to get done. It's not a labor issue, and that's the other point I want to underscore. This is an economic issue, and it is one that goes right to the heart of the American economy in terms of how competitive we're going to be and what kinds of standard of living and quality of life the American middle class is going to have. So it's a very big deal to me. I was proud to speak about it on the floor of the Senate. We didn't get there this time, as you know, but we're going to be back at it. We're going to keep working at it. We're going to get it done, and I will be very proud to sign it as your president. You're all invited. We'll have a big signing ceremony. Everybody can come, and then you're going to have to get back to work and make use of it.
I would tell anybody, particularly people who aren't union members, that this country's middle class was built on the union movement. So we don't want a race to the bottom, we want a race to the top. We want to have the most skilled, best paid, most knowledgeable workforce in the world. And the way that we're going to accomplish that is by working with our union movement. Because right now, all we're doing is spending a lot of time trying to bust up unions, lowering wages, lowering benefits, loading off costs onto workers. Workers then have a tougher time investing in the next generation, have a tougher time paying for a college education for their kids, have a tougher time keeping their health so that they're not a burden on taxpayers and the healthcare system overall, have a tough time managing their own retirement, and that costs everybody. So that would be the argument that I would make, is that it is in the country's self-interest to make sure that people are getting the kinds of wages and benefits that allow them to be good consumers, allow them to be productive workers, and allow them to pass on to the next generation a better life. The other thing is, I will speak to the nation about it, because one of the things that the president has to do, and I will tell you, it's not just Republicans, Democrats too, oftentimes are afraid to talk about unions in public. They'll talk about them to you, but when was the last time you heard somebody talk about the labor movement during a State of the Union speech? Why not? What are they ashamed of? That's part of the problem, is we've got a whole generation that grew up where nobody talked about the union movement. And you're going to have a President Barack Obama who will.